All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Demon Slayer, Season 2, Episode 7.
All right,
Nezuko is here. She has smashed the muzzle and smashed the face of this demon lady multiple times.
Holy shit, yeah.
Okay. And she can regenerate, and she's got a horn, and she is terrifying and badass and awesome.
Yeah, and okay. So they're okay for now.
Right.
But at the very least, this could get drawn out into a bigger thing, given that the demon did bring back her ribbons, so she might be able to get back even from this. We'll see. The squad is on their way.
Yep.
They should be there any second.
And when they do, if the fight isn't over already, it definitely will be after that.
Yeah. But yeah, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, then come back here for the discussion.
Okay.
Yeah, this was a really good episode.
That was a lot of fun.
Like, we definitely got things a lot more developed with Nezuko and Tanjiro here, which is always good. I love when the show decides to focus on the two of them primarily. And also now we have the twist reveal that our villain was actually two.
Right.
And that explains the demon in the OP that was unaccounted for.
That also explains some of the weird shenanigans.
Inconsistencies, yeah.
That was going on with the whole fights that she had with Tanjiro and things like that.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, do you think it's either that they're the same being, like they're conjoined twins, basically, or in that one of them was basically using the other to kind of protect them? So, like, she's not the upper six, he's the upper six, and
I think
he's there to protect her in case she needs it.
I think
but she's the one doing the double, like, social life kind of stuff.
I think both of them together make an upper six demon.
Okay.
So I don't know whether that started because they were conjoined twins or something like that. But at this point now, I think they are
they are a unit.
They are a single boss fight,
Yes.
right? Like,
yes.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Now, how they'll beat them, I don't know.
So then, what my thought is initially is that he's going to be stronger than she is, though. Because he's the ugly one and she's the pretty one, he was the one that ended up having to be on the inside, and then she would do all the pretending to be a human thing because she could then get them a good status within human society as an Oiran, which, perfect. Okay,
awesome.
Cool. Once Uzui basically steps onto the scene, cuts her head off, and is like
that.
It's over. You're done. You're dead. You weren't even really an upper six.
Where's the actual upper six?
Yeah. Where's the actual one? And she's just like, what? What are you talking about? I loved the unease that started to build slowly as we realized, well, wait a minute. She should be dead, but maybe
she's not disintegrating. What's going on?
Yeah, what's going on here? And then I'm thinking, well, that's fine. He's not worried about her because, she's got her spine severed. Her brain can't send signals to her arms to move, which was then the thing of where it created this horror feeling of, wait, why is her body moving? Hold on.
Well, I figured her body... Oh, yeah.
It just felt like a thing of where it's
like... because there's... Demon Slayer as a show is not 100% hard with the rules.
Right? Yeah.
It'll play things fast and loose every once in a while for some great comedy moments, right?
Yeah.
Things like where do the mice come from, or the rats that are super strong carry the swords? It's great, right?
Yeah.
How is she talking? Why did Usui not clue in sooner that what's going on? Your head got cut off, but you're still talking. It's fine because we get that wonderful comedy bit of the two of them conversing and him being like, no.
Right, but I thought that they wouldn't bend the rules at all for her arms moving. And it turns out they weren't. Her arms were kind of flailing as if they were being, piloted by something else. Like it was something that was frustrated. But then when he, comes out of her skin, out the spine of the back there, I'm now really questioning what the ribbons even were to begin with, because she, like, remember, brought them back in.
Yeah, like
that could have been her brother all along.
Sure, like the second entity intelligence, whatever. Yeah, that could have absolutely been her brother.
And that made her be at full power.
Given that she has the ability to store things in her ribbons, I would say that solves the potential issue of, like, where was her brother, you know? He was probably just in the ribbons in some way, and then maybe that explains the whole deal of back then, and he wasn't able to separate from the ribbons while the ribbons weren't with her, because, like, she's the one who controls the ribbons, so, like, when he's in there, he is actually stuck in there or something.
Yeah, before we go too hard onto the theory, though, before we go too hard onto it, there is just the idea that the ribbons attached to her, and they did seem to attach at her lower back, which is where he came out of. So that could just be the access point for her powers in general.
That's true.
So this was just a really horrifying reveal of having regardless of how it works, the idea of having this terrifying thing come out here.
Yeah, style points are...
But having the build-up to it also be something where we kind of intrinsically think, like, Uzui of going, yeah, she was kind of weak. Tanjiro was kicking her ass.
Right.
What's going on here? No, she wasn't, but she also was, because all in all, the brother is also the upper six. So it's either a combined thing, they either both fulfill half of it, and they're not, a single entity, but we'll find out in a later episode.
That they're both parts of it, because that, even though there's still inconsistencies with how the fight with her and Tanjiro went, with things changing when it didn't seem like there was a reason to, it does explain the issue of, like, okay, how was Tanjiro able to actually do so well when we saw Rengoku fight against Akaza and Akaza. And
well, he's stronger than her.
No, right, stronger than her, but it's still the uncomparable power levels, and it was like,
oh no, I think,
not that much time has passed since then. Even with the training that Tanjiro has done, there's no way he would be anywhere close to that.
I don't see Akaza and her as even being remotely comparable power levels. No. By saying that they're in the upper six, but he's actually, remember, she is upper six. She is number 6. Whereas Akaza was like number 3. Upper just means that they're in the top rank of the demons.
God.
It doesn't mean they're in the upper 3 or upper 6. It just means they are upper demon number 6 or upper demon number 3. That's why Akaza is way stronger than she is.
Gotcha. I must have missed that she was actually number 6.
It's okay. We watched season 1 a while ago.
Okay.
The main thing, though, is that having another entity being something inside her will then cause some very real, I would say, implications for the old school style of, season 1 Tanjiro and how he would solve problems of, oh, wait a minute, the demons need to be necessarily not just, slaughtered horribly,
but maybe like set free from their torment.
And then set free from their torment.
Yeah.
And it does seem like Gyotaro is the one that's maybe been tormented a little bit, given that his form is so ghastly and grotesque.
Well, and he has actively shown, like, his defining characteristic up till now, other than that he cares about his sister, is harming himself.
Yes.
So, like that's it. That's one of his shticks that he got, and it's very effective for making him terrifying and creepy and unsettling and all of that stuff. But yeah, depending on how much they get into the character of these two demons, that could go in some interesting ways. But at the same time, that was brought up by Tanjiro earlier, and there's the whole thing of that was so long ago, dude. Like,
yeah,
we hardly even remember that,
Sure.
But okay, we have a very complicated fight on our hands, because Usui cannot beat them by himself. And if the two of them are going to be fighting together, then that means that we'll have to have, like, a group on pair fight.
And I think what's going to end up happening is that Uzui will try to find a way to separate them so that the boys can handle her.
Sure.
That's
right.
That seems like the thing that makes the most sense.
Right. That is what they would most want to do, because then they can use their numbers most to their advantage, I would say, divide and conquer all that. But if this ends up being something where the two demon siblings actually stick together, one, good on them, because I think that's the strategic best thing to do.
Oh, for sure.
But
they're probably going to try to do that as much as they can. Yeah.
Right, but 2, on a meta level, that'll just make me really impressed with the show, because those are the kinds of fights that I've always wanted to see.
Same, yeah.
And almost never happen.
They don't really
because
happen.
they are incredibly difficult to do technically.
Yeah.
Right? Because especially if one of them has some kind of tentacle powers, right? You've got someone who has manipulatable liquid blades that they can throw out.
Right,
in
right.
addition to their own moving and attacking.
Yep.
And then you have someone on top of them that has a bunch of tentacles that they can shoot out and manipulate and eat people and grab people and all that stuff. And then you have like 5 people that will have to, or 8 people, because there's the wives and stuff, like
I hope at least one of the wives gets involved in the fight. Yes.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
And that sounds like something that could be like an MMO raid boss, like where it's like, oh shit, how do we all work together to try and take down this monstrosity?
Sure. Think about it more from the demon's perspective, though. They're playing a co-op game where one person's like, I'm the legs, and I have these abilities, and the other person's like, I'm the arms and the head, and I have these abilities.
And given that they are siblings and have been doing this for a long time, I am sure they're going to be very well coordinated, right?
I could see there being a little bit of a lack of coordination because of the situation that they were in previously, not necessarily being one where the power of the ribbons came from Gyutaro. And I think the more and more I think about it, the more and more I'm sure that Gyutaro is nothing to do with the ribbons. Gyutaro uses the blood demon art with regards to the, just the blood attacks, basically. So it's probably not related to him, but that might be just how he was stored inside her, like you were saying earlier. So then we can have a kind of a back and forth bit with the fight kind of escalating here. Tanjiro gets to be moved away from the fight, classic main character styles that you can come back in and, clean it up at the very end.
And there's a good reason to do that.
A very good reason to do that.
Nezuko is not in a place to be able to fight anymore, so yes, maybe get her and tuck her away someplace safe.
Yeah, and let's talk about that, because the actual Nezuko stuff here is, albeit a bit minimal, unfortunately. It's one of those things where if Nezuko is going to get more focus, we can get more excited about her being involved in the story moving forward, but also having her character be one that can, at the very least, resonate with the words of her brother while in this transformed, heightened, intense, aggravated demon state. And it still reaches her to the point where her humanity comes out at this point. Is very exciting about the future of this story, because that's where I would say the core humanity of this story is a brother trying to protect his sister and her trying to return back to that little bit of humanity that she has.
Right. Them both trying to reclaim the innocence that was taken from them when their family was slaughtered.
Yep.
So, and also there was something else that in having this scene happen, I'm really glad about this, because the solution that they had to the Nezuko being a demon problem in season 1 was a bit too binary for me. Like, it was very helpful from a story standpoint. Like, we don't need to deal with it as much. But if Nezuko just is in this state where now she is, it's assumed that she will more or less be able to resist her demon urges. There was the bit with the Hashira when they would wound her and cut their hands and stuff, to try and tempt her and everything. But this is something where we can see why something like the muzzle is important, why the box is important, why even if they go to a place and it's going to be nighttime and stuff, why it'd still be really risky to have her outside of the box. Theoretically, they could have that happen and have her stay with Tanjiro, and this was something that came about as a result of her being in a battle where she had to use a lot of regeneration and stuff. But
that's a good point. Yeah, the idea that this is something where it could have actually gone just fine, but because Tanjiro ended up needing help.
Because Tanjiro needed help, because he didn't fight with her from the beginning.
Or because he didn't just leave.
That too. For a set of reasons, right? And ended up getting into this rough spot. And so I get then from the story standpoint of why you want to have it happen when it's the most dramatically poignant, to have Nezuko and Tanjiro have this moment. But I would love to see after this them talk about what happened and be like,
Yeah.
hey, that was a pretty close scare. You know, how do we want to handle this?
See if
because
she can communicate a little bit.
Exactly, because I don't want Nezuko to stay in a box forever. I don't think she does. I don't think Tanjiro wants her to, right? That's more of just we feel forced to do this because we don't have a better solution, you know.
The reason as to why she reverted back even to being almost
child.
smaller than where she was before the show, really.
Yeah, like that was
like at any point in the show. Or maybe back to the point where she went into the really small cutesy form in season 1. If that's just her ability, that she can basically draw upon as much of her own physical capacity at any point that she needs it, then she kind of had her Gon moment from Hunter x Hunter, where she drew upon her height, her strongest demon form possible to save Tanjiro here.
Yep.
I would like to have them make sure that this doesn't become a thing of where, oh, now she just stays in baby form for, you know, the rest of the season.
Yeah,
because,
no, I think I didn't get what it was at the beginning, but that's also the form that she goes into so that she can fit in the box.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. Okay. We have our new stage of things with the fight. Inosuke, Zenitsu, and company are here.
Yep.
Let's have a team fight. I would love to see Uzui also be like, get the fuck back, guys.
Right.
I cannot watch you and this demon.
Exactly.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to drive them apart. If you
be ready when I do.
Be ready, because I need you to go and just grab her, just
and
get her.
keep her from joining back up. Yeah.
Right. Which also, now that I think about it, because she has the ribbons, might be ridiculously difficult because she could just attach herself to him.
Yep. Theoretically, she could just send one ribbon through his body and it wouldn't necessarily be a problem for him.
Wrap around his little spine, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like you know, and then what are you going to do?
Oh, I just realized something that could be a really cool attack thing.
Oh, yeah?
If they're tethered, anything that Zenitsu hits will kind of... even though it's not actually lightning, I know, but it could theoretically kind of hit all of them, you know?
I mean, yeah. To bring it back to the Twin Princes in Dark Souls 3,
yes.
The best way to beat them is to get a weapon with a vertical slice and then hit them both at the same time while they're stacked on top of each other.
Right.
So theoretically that could happen here, and I absolutely could see Zenitsu pulling something like that off with like some Thunder Dash, like super fast, you know, move.
For sure. I also really would like to see if they want to make these demons more, we're more emotionally attached to them, have this be a thing of where the sister, realizes that she's potentially going to end up killing her brother by being attached to him. So she needs to actually separate and let him kill, Uzui, or at least try to.
Right.
And then that could create a dynamic where then they are also then weakened because they're separated. You know?
One of the things that was... There were a couple mechanical things that were brought up in this episode that I don't know how strongly they'll be held to, but they were very interesting. Is that one... Nezuko's fires stop demons from being able to regenerate. However, this demon was able to circumvent that.
Yeah,
right?
he almost like stimulated the regeneration in his sister.
Right. Which is kind of crazy.
Is that because of their link, maybe?
Right. Like if his own regeneration was so strong that he was able to do that, cool. Because we've seen situations where like Nezuko's regeneration is stronger than his sister's, because she's able to regenerate mid-swing and follow through and all that stuff, and it's awesome. But if there's some kind of drawback or something where he is kind of using his own regenerative powers, or what makes it so that he can like get past Nezuko's anti-healing fire, I'm curious to see that potentially get explored, because I feel like the next episode, and however they resolve this fight, it is not just going to be a question of skill and speed and all of that, but mechanically, how do we make it so that he can't just bring his sister back, or vice versa,
well, again,
right?
Yeah, they're going to have to separate them.
Yeah.
That's the simple answer, I think.
But
okay. All right. Yep. Good twist. And now we're headed towards basically the final parts of the season.
Yep.
And we'll get ourselves a crazy Hashira versus demons versus
Three
small
wives,
little demon
Inosuke
slayer
and
with maybe the wives
Zenitsu,
coming
yeah.
in. I just want it to be a thing where you've got multiple parties all involved, and even if it ends up being a thing where maybe Tengen has to be like, no, this is what I said back then. Like, I need you all to let me handle this. I will get this. And then they're like, but we don't want you to die. Like,
Right, yeah.
And that could be a really cool thing to make us, attached to their bond as well. Because I really don't want to say goodbye to another Hashira, given that we just kind of got introduced to this guy for real for the first time this season. And he's really likable.
He's really likable.
Quickly growing on me, like Rengoku did.
And in the same way that the two demons are working together, and we've seen Tanjiro and Nezuko work together, I really want to see him and his wives work together in like the most badass quartet of death.
Yeah, I would love to see that. But I also feel like that's something that we're not really going to get that much of because he's such a Giga Chad archetype character. It's just going to be a thing of like, no, stand back.
Hey,
jawline, I got this, like it's just it's gonna be something else. But yeah, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below. For our Patreon, you can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.